Hey everyone, welcome to Learn to Shred. In this video I'm going to be doing a shoe review on the Adidas Busenitz Pro skate model. I picked these up a few months ago, a good few months ago now, and I actually got them from an outlet store, so I managed to get them for about 49 English pounds, which I'm not sure how many dollars that is, but I'll put it in the video for you so you know. So it's a bit cheaper than the RRP, and I'd always wanted a pair of Busenitz anyway, but I actually wanted the black with the gum coloured sole. This colourway was going cheap though, and it's the only colourway they had, and it was quite lucky to find them really. So I thought I would cop a pair of them. I was actually skating a different shoe at the time, which weren't completely finished yet, so I held on to these for quite a while before I skated them, which is important when I talk about one of the things that happened to these shoes. So my first comments on these shoes really are they are quite a unique and particular style. I believe they're actually based off a football shoe, and Adidas has adopted them to become a skate shoe with the reinforced suede. That's on the back and all around the toe and the lace area. And you've obviously got the skate insole in there, which isn't great, but we'll talk about that later as well. And the reinforcement on the heel as well. So when I started actually skating these shoes, after only a couple of sessions, all this side stitching actually completely blew out and it was all ripped. The shoe did still kind of function, but it just lost all its good looks, and I was worried that it was going to just not feel like a good shoe anymore. Skated it once or twice and I was like, I'm going to try and get a return, but because I'd actually was skating another shoe at the same time, I couldn't return these. So what I actually ended up doing was just super gluing all underneath here, and that's actually managed to hold them absolutely fine. I've had no problems with that bit. Now I don't know if that's a common problem that happens with the Busenitz shoe, but that happened to mine, and I was a bit gutted when it happened, to be honest, because I thought they would be able to stand up to a lot more than that being a signature skate shoe. But that's just the way it is. That's just what happened to my particular shoe. So I super glued all underneath here, and yeah, as I said, I've been skating them quite intensely for the last couple of months now, and I've had no problems with that coming up now. The super glue is holding really nicely. In terms of the toe area, that's actually also holding up a lot better than I was expecting for a skate shoe. These are really good around the toe area. The suede is still in great condition, and I'm really work on my kickflips quite a lot at the moment. So you can see it's getting the wear right by the front toe here, and what I actually do is when I'm using these after every session, I just actually end up putting super glue just across here, just to give it that extra bit of life, a bit of longevity, and hopefully keeps that toe area nice and solid, and it'll stop it from ripping through. The other area where I always get wear is here, right on the side of the shoe. As you can see, it's like actually right on the stripe here, which is probably quite a good thing because there's two layers of leather there, and it's holding up really well. I've had sort of canvas shoes in the past that have worn through there really quickly, or even suede ones that have worn through there really quickly. I have actually also had to put a little bit of super glue under here as well to do a little fix. That was starting to come off, as you can see a little bit there, so another little bit of super glue there. So yeah, basically I recommend anyone that's skating anyway to have a supply of super glue just to keep your shoes together for as long as possible. Another great feature of these shoes, which I really like, it's probably one of the best features actually, is this bit around the heel. It gives you amazing heel support, and it's got it on both sides. You can see this plastic and around the back as well. It's actually a rubber, sorry, not plastic. And I can't actually obviously show you via video, but if you ever do get a chance to feel these shoes and you squeeze the back, you can feel there's a lot of heel support there, and that's something that when your foot's inside it and you're on a board, you can really feel that your foot's being held nicely. Another thing I really like about these is the actual shape of the toe area, and the fact that this shoe actually kind of points down to a point. I found that was really good for kickflips. It's such a nice shape for kickflips, and that, like any tricks that involve using your front foot. It's a really nice shape. It's a really natural shape, and I've had different shoes in the past which have got a higher toe, and they can feel quite bulky when you're doing kickflips, so they've got a nice feel to them, a nice shape, which I really like. One of the things that I did notice when I first got these shoes is it took me a while to get used to ollieing with them, because they didn't feel like there was much grip on the side of the shoe when I was ollieing. But how I actually ended up combating that was I just had to basically stop being lazy with my ollies and having to really tilt my front foot and scrape it up the board just to get that grip off the suede at the front and to get it off wherever else on the shoe it could. And I think that could be down to the fact that the suede stops here and then that's like slightly inset, and it's not as, I don't think the leather will be as grippy on grip tape. But yeah, certainly first few weeks of skating these, I'd struggled with the ollies and my front foot would kind of slip off and fly off, but now that they've got worn in and I've got more used to them, they're really good. They're perfect. There's no problems with them whatsoever. They have actually got a little shoelace protector piece of suede here. That is another area that I've had to re-glue back down as I've been skating, and what I will say is I'm not sure how much of a difference these actually make. It's got the sort of inset eyelets, if you can see them there. So the laces are slightly inset, and this piece of suede does that for them. But I've been through one pair of laces with these, so to be fair, maybe it is quite good actually, because I've actually only gone through one pair of laces, and you can see here these are starting to fray, but they're nowhere near about to break. So I think that suede bit probably does actually make a little bit of difference and keeps your laces lasting a bit longer. In terms of the grip, as you can see, I've been skating these about 3 or 4 months, and the grip is still in really good condition. I've lost a bit of the texture around the edges, but limited wear really. You can still see all the Adidas shapes here. They still feel really textured as well, even though I have been skating them quite a lot and using them for sort of everyday walking around and that kind of thing as well. This is what's called a cup sole. It's not a Vulk, so the shoe is built into this big rubber sole, which if you haven't skated cup soles before, they do feel a lot different to Vulk skate shoes, and that's something I definitely had to get used to at first. But that being said, with the nice quite wide sole on these and the heel support and the cup shape, when you get used to it and your foot's inside this shoe, they really are nice to wear, and they are really nice to skate in as well. One of the talking points of these shoes is the massive tongue, and it is absolutely huge, as you can see. You can actually cut this, and there's a little guide line to cut through them, and it says something along the lines of, oh, not feeling the tongue, cut along this dotted line for a pair of Busenitz lights, which is quite cool, quite funny. A friend of mine has got the same shoe actually. He picked it up at the same time for the sale price, and he's cut his. I don't think it looks as good. I like the big big tongue on it. The only thing that I noticed with the tongue on these is when you're skating, they do have a tendency to kind of slip to the side like this. Even though there's the eyelet through the laces, these do actually slip to the side, and you end up quite a lot having to re-pull them out when you're skating. That does get quite annoying. One way you can combat that is to, instead of going through the lace eyelets at the top here, do that behind the tongue. If you do that behind the tongue, then they don't slip at all, but you do have to have the tongues sticking out quite far like this, which I don't know, I think it's quite cool, and it's quite a unique feature of the Busenitz, which I like, is this huge kind of football shoe type tongue. I kind of just bend it over a little bit like that when I'm skating, and yeah, no problems there. They don't affect your skating at all, but there's quite a unique and nice style which I like. One thing I should talk about with these is the insoles, so I'll just get those out for you. Well, I'll just get this one out. They are not up to much at all in typical Adidas skate style. They never seem to come up good with the insoles. It's really thin. It's a kind of a memory foam style feel, and it's got this like rubber textured bottom, which is good. It's got good grip inside the shoe. I personally haven't had any problems with heel damage with these shoes, but that being said, I don't skate big stuff. So I've not had any heel bruising or anything with these shoes, and I've done long skate sessions in these, like 3 hours plus. I've skated these and been able to walk away fine. So they must do something to a certain extent. They're quite thin, but there's definitely some sort of protection in there, and they're a bit thicker at the heel as well. But overall, I'd say if you can afford to get some footprint insoles, maybe just check those out and get those instead, because they'll probably do a lot more than these. But that being said, these aren't terrible. They look like they will be, but as I say, for high impact stuff, I'm not really sure. So that might be something to consider if you're a high impact skater. You might want to go and cop a pair of insoles for them instead of these ones. So all in all, guys, my review would be that these are an amazing pair of skate shoes. They feel really good when you're skating them, and there's that little bit of getting used to that you need to do at the start to get used to them. But once you've broken through that and kind of got a bit of wear on the toe, these feel unbelievable, to be honest. I was really skeptical of them at first, but then when I broke them in and started really getting some good skate sessions in, I was actually amazed at how good these feel on the board. I think it just looks like a shoe that shouldn't be good for skateboarding in a way. Looks like it should be good for like indoor football or something like that. But once you break them in and get them molded to your foot and get them a bit more supple, they are really, really nice to skate in. And overall, I would highly recommend a pair. The only thing that I think would really put me off is the style, because they're not a typical sort of skate style shoe. But apart from that, I quite like the unique look of them. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. That's a review of the Adidas Busenitz Pro Skate model, which I've been skating for about 3 or 4 months now, consistently. And as you can see, they're still in really good condition. And particularly the one, which is for my switch foot, because I can't do anything switch, so they're in really good condition. But yeah, holding up very well. I would highly recommend them. If you can get them at a discount price, even better. There's loads of colorways. I got stuck with this one because it was the one on discount. But yeah, there's loads of different colors to explore. So yeah, give them a try, see what you think. If you've got Busenitz, leave a comment below and let me know what you think of them too. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll be back with more skate videos soon. Cheers, guys.